Back again, Mr. Warren Hayes with another edition number 9 of Warren is Off the Clock. Special edition tonight because this is offered as a free preview of the good stuff that happens here at patreon.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. We've got ways here for you to support the show, support the Mr. Warren Hayes show, and we have multiple ways to do it. I've got basically a couple of tiers. Go check it out. But there's I add stuff whenever it feels good, whenever it feels relevant. But one thing is for sure is that here every Thursday after the Mr. Warren Hayes show, I have a post stream for patrons only right here. Joining us this evening is JPQ, Big Paws on a Pup. Carlos is here as well. Benoit is here in the chat. Very relaxing. Very, very cool. Tim is here as well. By God. And what I like to do here, I like to take more, not take more time, because I take a lot of time already talking about stuff, but I like to take more time chatting with folks here in the stream. I'm not as overwhelmed with all the content. Ryan, how you doing? Welcome back. So you know, as we Hawkeye at the chat just made me laugh. He says, not sure how I feel about Ponytail Warren. Well, this is my off the clock look. This is what I do. This is what I look like. And it's time to see. Some people let their hair down and just bundle it all up. So we are going to talk about an event that happened yesterday, or at least, yes, it did happen yesterday, and it happened on Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about the situation with wardrobe designer and stylist for WWE, Erica Gimbel, and the expose that Kristen Ashley put out that I had a hand in as well. I helped out. But Kristen did did fantastic work on it. I just did some heavy lifting. That's all I did. And John says Warren is a pair of Birkenstocks away from entering the Frisbee Golf Pro Tour. Thing is, Birkenstocks and proper cardio. Anyhow, let's start talking about this. We're going to move back a couple of steps here, just so we get a little context. If you're not quite sure exactly who we're talking about, it was picked up on by some news outlets, but on Monday, Tuesday, don't quite remember when the tweet was released in and about itself, but a person on Twitter, referring to herself as a wardrobe designer and stylist for WWE, amongst other companies as well, said that had tweeted out a video of someone sketching a dress, sketching a dress, and had overlaid the audio with the Firefly Funhouse theme song. Now, there had been a lot of rumors over the weekend, a lot of speculation, let's put it that way, of the possibility of Liv Morgan being this new reveal that Bray Wyatt wants to do tomorrow evening on SmackDown, the new face of the Firefly Funhouse. There's a lot of people that were thinking that it was Liv Morgan. So this tossed some gasoline onto that fire. People got really, really excited. They got so excited that it was picked up by a few news outlets, some news aggregation sites, who saw this as a news item, seeing that this Erica Gimbel apparently worked for WWE because she had tons of tweets of WWE related stuff. She seemed to have been involved in events on backstage, and her account was verified. So there was a lot of people here who just threw in on this and reported the news saying, oh, WWE stylist has just tweeted out maybe a tease for Friday regarding Liv Morgan. I saw this. I'm pretty sure this was on Monday, and I saw the video, saw the tweet, and it smelled like bullshit to me, because WWE doesn't like putting out those kind of teases. They just don't. And if an employee is doing that, you can rest damn sure that someone in creative or in PR is going to swoop in and tell them, hey, motherfucker, take that off internet. So it just smelled like bullshit to me. Then it got picked up by Ryan Satin. Or not got picked up. Ryan Satin from Pro Wrestling Sheet retweeted it. And this is where the whole story starts. Because Kristen Ashley saw the tweet. It was a quote tweet, actually. He had tweeted, like, the eyes emoji. The eyes that look like this. He had quote tweeted that, and Kristen texted me and she said, what did Ryan just quote tweet? I can't see it. I said, what do you mean you can't see it? Well, I can't see it. It's from someone who blocked me. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's from Brad Shepard, and I don't know. He's probably blocked by Brad Shepard as well. I don't know. I don't know who it was. But so I go on it and say, oh, it's the trash. It's the video of the sketching thing. And Kristen goes, well, that's weird, because I haven't had any interaction with this person. Why would she and she blocked me. Kristen was clearly blocked by Erica Gimbel. She said, I've never had interaction with her. Why would she have blocked me? So, there are ways to go around being blocked on Twitter by someone, right? Just open up your browser and incognito window, or log yourself out, and you can go see some tweets. Kristen immediately started seeing a pattern of stuff that reminded her that reminded her of another account. And this is what I'm going to do here. Instead of just going through it, I'm going to pull up the thread right here. Boop. For those of you watching right now, I've got the entirety of Kristen's thread here, so that we can take a look at it together. And by the way, folks, if you have any questions, if you're watching this live and you're in the chat and you have any questions, feel free to drop in. And I appreciate the compliments, such as Carlos saying that he's digging hatless Warren. Sometimes you need to take a break from the hat, and I appreciate it. That's very kind, Carlos. So let's just jump right into to Kristen's thread here. Wardrobe designer and stylist for WWE, Hallmark, Channel Fox Sports, and excuse me, let me start over. Christ, Warren, learn how to read. Wardrobe designer and stylist for WWE, Hallmark Channel, Fox Sports, and alleged Girl Up ambassador, Erica Gimbel, is a fraud. A thread. There's a lot to sift through, so bear with me. I'll start at the beginning. A boss of mine had, quote, tweeted double eyes to a tweet. So I clicked on it to see what it was. I was blocked from the account. Erica's and couldn't see the tweet. I was instantly suspicious because I've never had any engagement with this account, and seeing her bio, I was instantly intrigued. I started to scan her profile, noticing weird numbers on her tweets. High retweets and likes with 0 replies. I did a basic Google search and got very little info. I scrolled back as far as I could. Her tweets were purged before April. This was an account that was open since 2009. And everything had been purged before April. It all looked really suspicious. I've been scammed by someone before who took over Lynn Olenoff's account, claiming to have an in with WWE PR, and tried to feed me some fake scoops. This account looked eerily familiar. Knowing Sean Ross Sapp has also experienced something familiar. something similar, excuse me. I contacted him. He said he would message some people for me. I enlisted the help of Mr. Warren Hayes because his computer skills are better than mine. And oh boy, did we find some stuff. And yeah, that's a bit of an understatement. Let's go ahead. First, we tried to Google image search her profile pics and some of the other pics on her profile. We couldn't come up with any on her profile. But it's weird that all 4 of her previous photos have no face in the shot. All are behind generic backgrounds that could be anywhere. This was a big red flag for us because I was able to pull up some cached versions of her Twitter page in the past, over the past few months, and she had been regularly changing her profile picture, but always her profile pics or avatars never had a full face shot. It was always from the back against a sky, some forest trees, nature walks, but always from behind. You never quite saw her properly. And no, Benoit, I'm not telling Cameron Grimes to take a break from the hat too. If I had that hat, I would wear it all the time. So that was a big red flag for me to begin with. And as Kristen said, I tried to do some reverse image searches on Google image search, yes, but a whole bunch of other services as well. And I couldn't find any of her pictures anywhere else. Facebook, nothing. Because that's what I was thinking. She's probably grabbing Facebook pictures from other people. And I got 0 matches anywhere. And that also was very suspicious to me. Which it meant either one of two things. That indeed her pictures were her own and she was keeping them very, very private. Or she was messing with them just enough to make them unidentifiable to reverse lookups. And she was very good at it because there were a bunch of pictures on there, not just of her or allegedly her, but all sorts of different pictures. I was like, this probably comes from some other dude's profile, and I couldn't find them. So she was very careful in manipulating the photos, the images that she was putting up, so that they wouldn't be easily image searched. So that as well, like that I found really, really suspicious. Then she had this tweet here. As Kristen said, we did find a dead hit on a dress she claimed she bought for a Marine Corps ball. And this is a pretty important tweet here because this was the one where we were like, okay, that confirmed to us that this was bullshit, or at least that our instincts were right. As you can see on the tweet here, it says, when in doubt, always go to the little black dress. Marine Corps ball, here I come. So I searched this one out. And we found it on a Consignment Boutique's website, Facebook page. The Addiction Designer Consignment Boutique. It's the exact same photo. You could maybe say that she took this in her, maybe this is her closet or whatever. She has established that she has some kind of means. But no, not at all. Clearly, the exact same picture here. This is where we knew it was bullshit. As you can see on the, or maybe not quite here, it's been cropped, but Kristen asked them on the page, is this dress still available by chance? And the next day, they responded positively. They said, yeah, we still have it. And it was also bullshit because we also started smelling bullshit because the Addiction Designer Consignment Boutique is in Pennsylvania, and our girl Erica claims that she's from Boulder, Colorado, living sometimes in Los Angeles. Wasn't looking good. So that's it. That's what Kristen says here. Notice she's from Colorado. The store's in Pennsylvania. She tags Givenchy in the pic, but the dress is from Nicholas the Label. You'll also notice I commented to see if it was there. No one returned the message at that point when it was released. When it was released, they hadn't responded, but they did later on in the day If you want to look it up on Twitter, the response is there. They said, yeah, the dress is still available. Before changing her bio, Erica said she worked for Taylor Swift and Disney. Contacted Taylor Swift. I haven't gotten any messages back. There's a couple of people who got a kick out of that. It was like, oh, I wrote Taylor Swift. Well, that's what you do when you're a journalist. You reach out for comment. You're not just going to leave it there. Yeah, there's a fair chance that Taylor Swift is not going to respond back. But when you're a journalist, you have to reach out. I also contacted Girl Up because you remember in her bio, she said that she was a Girl Up ambassador. So Kristen says, I also contacted Girl Up because when I went to her site to see the ambassadors, they don't have any position by that name. There's no ambassadors for Girl Up. Still waiting on their response. And there still hasn't been, by the way. There was a tweet where she claims to have written a review for Women's Health magazine on Mandy Rose's app and a post for Huffington Post. Let's just take a look at these two tweets. My review of Mandy Rose's Mandy Sachs app is coming up next week on Women's Health Mag. God damn, she tagged everyone. Thoroughly impressed. The other article spoke to Noura El Faiz, who is Saudi Arabia's Vice Minister of Education and the first female to hold a cabinet-level position in the country's history, about WWE's first ever women's match at WWE Crown Jewel. I'll have our conversation in writing over at HuffPost Women next week. Sneak peek. We spoke on Lacey Evans' military past and her admiration for women who serve, as well as Nat by Nature's carrying, Natalia basically, carrying on her family's legacy in WWE, bringing at the forefront of women in sports and entertainment. Guess what, chat? Guess what? Do you think that these articles pulled up? Do you think that these articles were published? Kristen searched everywhere for those reviews. This is what she said. Even an archived version, and never found them. They were never written, nor has any Erica Gimbel ever wrote for either publication. You can smell the bullshit at this point. You can taste it. That's how bad it smells. John in the chat says, this is like True Crimes Wrestling Twitter. CSI Wrestling Twitter. Aaron J's fan said, this is great stuff. She is like the female version of Brad Shepard. Now, there's a difference here. Because Brad Shepard is not trying to hide behind a facade. Like, what you see is what you get with Brad. Erica Gimbel is putting on an act. She's trying to pass herself off as something she's not. Now, you'll argue that Brad Shepard is trying to pass himself off as a wrestling journalist, but that's a whole other discussion for a whole other time. And Hawkeye says, Kristen and Warren are like Sherlock and Watson. I'm definitely the Watson in this situation. Let's keep going. We continued to dig, found tweets from 2014 and 2016 from the account in Google search that has since been deleted in the purge. That clearly had that clearly had come from the original owner of the account, Erica Gimbel of Princesses Long Island, a reality show that was once on Bravo. This is where it gets wild and where a lot of people didn't quite understand. This explains the check mark here, right? When you purge your account, everything is gone except for the tweets you have liked. Warren noticed that before April, the last likes were from 2014, all related to posts from Princesses Long Island. Now, I know now about Princesses Long Island. I'm not a reality TV show buff, but this was a short-lived reality show on Bravo. Not quite sure what it was about. These women living in Long Island that want everything catered to them. Erica Gimbel was one of these women who was on this show. She had a verified account because she was on this program. She had been off Twitter for years. She'd been off Twitter for years. Erica Gimbel, the one that the wrestling Erica Gimbel, basically, look, hacked or engineered her way into this account and took it over, wiped the tweet history, started fresh, and created this persona for herself. That's how she got the check mark, because the check mark was already there. A lot of people ask me, and I'm not quite sure, and it's not super clear on Twitter either, but once you have a check mark, you can't change the name. Because that's how you identify yourself. Because a lot of people, why didn't she change the name? She can't. Otherwise, she loses the check mark, and the check mark is crucial to whatever she's doing, because she fooled a lot of people here. Let's just look at these tweets here. You'll see here, March 22nd of this year, 2018, was her first like of the year of 2018. It was a Lacey Evans tweet. The previous one went on December 31st, 2014 to a fan. At a taping of the Princess Long Island reunion special. Come back to my TV lineup. Then these are all people who were on Princess's Long Island. Another like from a fan. And then the other picture here. This was from July 23rd, 2013. Babs, they call me Babs. She's out and single. Getting low with Erica Gimbel. This is Erica Gimbel here. That's the woman there, who apparently doesn't want anything to do with stardom anymore. She works in a spa. JPQ agrees that I'm 100% Watson. Aaron Jace fan says Warren and Kristen are secretly PIs. No, there's no money to be made in that. And Aaron Jace fan says, I'm on her page now. She's privated with less than 1,000 followers. Yep, that sounds about right. She did private her account during the day yesterday. SRS, meaning Sean Ross Sapp, shorthand, knows a lot of people within WWE and has spoken to 3 people who appears on her timeline. No one has heard of her. Some of her pics have clearly been cropped and ran through Canva or Spark. We can't find a trace of this woman as she sells herself anywhere. Trust us. We scoured the internet. We really did. I went to bed really late that night. Verified people who once followed her no longer do, because they realize she's a fraud. 5 years between like posts. Tweets coming up in articles from 2014 that are not related to this Erica she claims to be now. This woman found an abandoned account, hacked it, purged it, and falsely made a WWE-related persona. I don't have proof that they're the same people, but there's the similarities between her and Linda, the author that Kristen had mentioned earlier, are too real. This isn't the first time she's done this. She will prey off people. This woman is clearly sick. She has some deep mental trauma that caused her to do this, and so I toyed with bringing other people into the mess, but she likes the attention so much that she is leading other people to believe her lies. She's trying to feed fake scoops again. There have been people who reached out to Kristen after the expose in DMs, telling Kristen, you know what? I've been chatting with this person, and she's been telling me stuff about WWE. She's been just talking to me about it. Since I started the investigation, Erica has unblocked me, which is why I think she knows I know, and her morbid curiosity is getting the best of her. Erica, Linda, whomever, please stop. There are sites who have posted your bullshit lives, and there are jobs at stake. To those sites, the news sites, and anyone else so quick to believe a bio with a check mark, please do your research. Yes, we did some research, but a few hours of it could have told you the same thing. There are threads out there in forums pondering if she's real. Go take a peek at those. And here's a little something that that popped up not that long ago after all of this. After the original thread, Kristen came back and said, I have not been able to find any other Erica Gimbel. Knowing Ashley White, 23, was also on the show, Sean Ross Sapp contacted Ashley about the account, Ashley has said that she knows this is not Erica Gimbel. Ashley White was one of the stars of Princesses Long Island, who now works as a WWE shop influencer, or at least that's what she does in WWE. Probably not her only line of income, but that she is involved in WWE, and she was involved in Princesses Long Island, and she told Sean, and she even told Kristen. Ashley ran into the real Erica's mom recently, who said Erica lives in Florida and works at a spa. And this is the real Erica Gimbel's Instagram account. It's private. It had been private before all of this. She just wants to be left alone. So Ashley White basically came out and confirmed that that all of this is indeed hot trash and not the fun kind that I like to give out on the show usually. Now, Hawkeye in the chat, he says he feels bad for the real Erica Gimbel. Yeah, sure. I agree. The real Erica Gimbel has removed her social media presence. She has no interest in being online anymore, clearly. So, I mean, it does suck for her, but it's also not too bad for her. She had given up on the account, and this is like Kristen said in the thread. This is behavior that we've seen before, and not just from this account here, from another account as well, of someone posing as a WWE employee, actually reaching out to people, to fans, saying, I heard that you want to come to the show. I can get you backstage tickets. I can get you tickets at the door. And there's reports of people actually heading to these events where this person is telling them, yeah, just come up to the door, ask for the tickets, and you have them. And the people go up to the door, and there's nothing, of course, because it's all lies and fabrications. Even heard a story about a woman who went there with her 2 children. There's no tickets, and the kids are there crying because they don't get they got all the way over there. Yeah, but no, I agree. Good thing this whole mess got exposed before anything worse happened. We're looking to make sure that there wasn't anything more fraudulent that happened, because if this is the same account that has been multiplying other accounts in the past, there have been stories of people paying this person money for scoops. But we're not able to verify this. This is just rumor and conjecture. But the stories are out there, but we have zero proof. If that ever happens, then this becomes much more serious than just like someone who's posting bullshit WWE lies that wrestling websites are picking up. Then it becomes fraud, becomes theft. Then it's a whole other story. Then it becomes out of our jurisdiction. I want to make one thing very, very clear here. The idea for us to do this was not to debunk an internet rumor. Those things usually have a tendency to debunk themselves, and they don't need a deep dive investigation. And especially, that's not something that we want to do anyway. That's not the point. And it was definitely not to put a cold shower on or to disprove that WWE doesn't want to do anything with Liv Morgan. This has nothing to do with Liv Morgan or WWE's plans for her. This was, as Kristen pointed out, this was behavior that we had seen before, that we've tried to investigate, and that we were finally able to get to the bottom of something here. and we're going to keep an eye on this. And we've got our eyes on a couple of other channels as well, a couple of other Twitter accounts that we're keeping an eye on as well. You know, Sean Ross Sapp is doing stuff on his end as well. But this was a big thing because there are multiple Twitter accounts that are doing this kind of stuff, or that look like they're doing this kind of stuff, and we're just keeping an eye out at this point. This was something that we were able to just disprove. And it's crazy. It's crazy because this was a really, really good phony account. You know, it's very different than when you receive a DM from Oscar346892 or Charlotte Fleur 3939 DMing you saying, "Hi baby, how are you?" And then you have a conversation with her, and then she ends up asking you for Amazon gift cards. That's very different than what's happening here. This is very different than what's happening here. In this situation here, you have someone who was clearly positioning themselves and created a history for herself, like a tale, a literal persona online to feed false information to people under the guise of legitimacy. Because I see your comment here, Hawkeye, saying, I saw a lot of people making comparisons to Slice Wrestling. Slice Wrestling may be putting out fake news, but Slice Wrestling is positioning itself as a news outlet. Whether they're lying or not, that's a whole other thing. Whether their sources are good or not, that's another thing. But they're not pretending to be something they're not. They're not being fraudulent about who they are, mischaracterizing themselves. They're not asking people for money or goods or services in exchange for their false information. Erica Gimbel, the wrestling Erica Gimbel, knew exactly what she was doing because she didn't start up an account that was fresh. She went for an account that had history. The account had been opened in 2019. Ashley White, the other star of Princesses Long Island, told us that when they got the deal with Bravo opened up their accounts and got them the verified check marks when they started the show, which is a common practice. But the account had been abandoned. So this is what Erica Gimbel does. She goes around, she looks for these abandoned, sparingly used Twitter accounts that are checkmarked, tries to get into them, and passes herself off as someone under the guise of legitimacy because of the checkmark. Guys, she fooled so many smart people. She had wrestlers, WWE wrestlers, following her under the guise of the checkmark because she said that she worked for WWE. She had the checkmark. So no one believed that she didn't work there. WWE is a huge company. You're not going to know everyone. Renee Young followed her. WWE on Fox followed her. Tons of wrestlers. Tons. Smart people who work for the company. It's crazy the amount of people that she was able to fool. And it's and I mean, we've even had the producer, one of the producers on one of the Fox producers for SmackDown, just come straight out and tell us, yep, we verified, we confirmed this is a fake account. No one knows who this is. But in the meantime, she was building her persona. She was coming across as credible because, trust me, she knows. We're saying she because her name is Erica. You know, her online name was Erica, but it could be anyone. It really could be. It could be a dude. The legitimacy that she was looking for by getting one of these abandoned verified accounts, scrounging through the internet to find him, she knew exactly what she wanted to do. That's the thing. And this is the one part that's missing from this whole story. Neither Kristen or I are able to figure out what her end game here is or was. This is why we're trying to investigate. We're trying to keep an ear to the ground anyway to these reports that we've heard of certain people paying Erica Gimbel or one of the very strangely similar accounts, people paying for scoops, for fake scoops. We don't know if Erica Gimbel did this. We don't. Want to make that clear. But to me, that's the end game here. I don't see why she would do something like this if it weren't for some kind of gain, monetary gain, or maybe the thrill of sending people over to a WWE event, promising them tickets, only to have these people get stonewalled when they get there and then get some kind of rise out of it. This is just like a very elaborate troll. Because whoever's doing this knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. So, I mean, we're glad that it turned out the way it did. You know, we're happy with the result of the investigation because we did work hard on it, and we're glad we were able to lock this one up. But there's still unanswered stuff. There's still things that aren't clear. I'm not clear on the motives, and Kristen and I are not ready to just dismiss this as, oh, this person is unwell. You know, there is a level of it, but to be able to do what they did on such a long term and being so precise on what they're doing and creating this air of legitimacy, that requires planning, effort. There's something more to this end game. Can't quite put my finger on it. But that's the story. That's how we came about it, and that's where we're at right now. So yeah, eventually, I mean, if anything else pops up, we're gonna see if there's any if there's going to be any kind of connections to make. But as of now, and this is just as a little heads up, and I don't know if I can. Let me see here. Maybe on a parting note here, I'm going to pull up a little interesting, maybe some interesting statistics here. Give me a second here, if you don't mind. I mean, this is the off the clock stream, right? So not everything has to be as tight. We don't have to run this ship as tightly, Warren. Let me pull up something else here on screen. I'm going to do a sec here. I'm going to do one of these. No, it's not just cars, folks. I'm going to hide the chat a bit here. I'm on Social Blade, which is if you're not familiar with it, it's a website that you can consult to see statistics about public stats regarding Twitter users, YouTube users, Instagram users, Facebook users. You just have to type in the name and then it pulls up their overall stats, followers, view times of stuff on YouTube and things like that. So I went to see, since her tweets are protected, I went to see Erica Gimbel's Social Blade because I wanted to see how her account had been hit. So you see, you have all the stats here. Well, let me just go a little slower here. You can see here. Kill this ad here. Number of followers, the number of people who are following, and the number of tweets. Number of tweets that she puts out in the day, or the number of times her tweets get retweeted. These are all counted for here. So you have the daily the daily change, the total, daily change total, daily change total over the last day. See, the Liv Morgan post boosted up her account quite a bit, boosted up the number of followers. But look at that. Since we put up the expose, she lost 543 followers. 62 people have unfollowed her. Now, this could also be her blocking people. But this is the really interesting statistic here. That's really what's interesting to me, because her account is locked. She's privated right now. So there's no way of seeing what's going on with her tweets. But she has effectively deleted 268 tweets from her account. She currently, according to this tally, she has 209 left. So that is very, very interesting. Because I'm wondering if that means that she's not readying another purge. She's not ready to move on. But then she can't change. From what I understand, she can't necessarily change her username because the username has been verified. So she can't just change it on a whim. It's very interesting what's going on. So she's deleting her tweets. Not quite sure what's going on. So we're going to leave it at that. That's all we know. Let's see. We're talking about Slice Wrestling a little earlier on. Aaron Jace fan saying Slice makes up rumors on purpose as a joke. That's Sliced Wrestling, right? But then there's also Slice Wrestling, and Sliced Wrestling is parodying Slice essentially with these outlandish stuff. Sliced is funny. He's a cool guy. Slice tries to pass himself off as legitimate, but he's not. Benoit says those fake WWE talent profiles must be run by the same Indian scanner, probably. Ray Deathrate says, Charlotte Fleur 3939 is my girlfriend. I can't wait to meet her, but she always seems to be busy. Oh, I'm so sorry to have broke that to you, Ray. I'm really, really sorry. I don't want to get into who pays for what. I don't have any proof. I don't have any proof on who pays for scoops or not, so I'm not gonna talk about it. Ray Deathray says she has Shane McMahon's lockbox. So there you go. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. We had a good time doing it, and a little inside baseball. As many of you know, Kristen and I, we don't live in the same town, so we do a lot of stuff remotely, and we had a date night. So we had watched a movie. We had watched a movie, and then we were like, well, what should we do now? And then that's when Kristen went on Twitter, saw the tweet, and then we stayed up really, really late investigating each other, but investigating this, and clearly this was our best date night ever. It was really, really good. Well, folks, I want to thank you all for jumping in here on the free preview of Warren is Off the Clock, usually available to patrons of the Power Pal tier. So if you do like what the Warren Hayes show does, and you want to show a little support, well, why don't you consider becoming a patron? We got a brand new fresh month coming up, so it's a great time to jump in. I'd really appreciate it. Shows that you care. Shows that you care. And but I mean, just the fact that y'all showed up tonight shows that you care tremendously, and I always appreciate anytime anyone shows up. here on the stream. And but there's always good stuff coming up on the Patreon, and I've got some ideas cooking. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for more patron stuff. It's on its way. I'm on its way. Ray Deathray says, I'm thankful for this preview and for my girlfriend, Charlotte Fleur 3939. I'm thankful for you too. Hope everyone in the United States had a great Thanksgiving. Thank you for spending a bit of time with me on your Thanksgiving day off. Thank you everyone who joined in the chat and who enjoyed this story. And is this it? Yeah, there we go. Here's the music. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks for coming.